Okay, thank you to be here on Shooting Idol for the Shooting Idol TV and the Shooting Idol web site, of course. So it's really a pleasure to get you Wings of Steel. Like we see you, the new cover behind me of the new album is very important because it was a great, great album, Wings of Time. So really, it was really a great surprise. Very, very good compared to the first one. It's a huge album. Perhaps my first question will be very simple. It's to present you, who you are, of course, and to present a little the band, of course.
All right. Well, Wings of Steel is a band founded by myself, Parker Held, and Leona Mark. We met in 2019 back in Los Angeles. We were going to music school. And I don't know, we got along really well, and we started writing music, and then COVID hit, and we got stuck inside, so we really started writing a lot more music. And then eventually, in 2022, we took some of that music that we wrote, and we released our first debut EP titled Wings of Steel. And from that point forward, that was when we say the band really started. But um, so we did that, and we started to pick up some traction in the underground. And then in 2023, we released our first full-length album, Gates of Twilight. This really kind of, I think, introduced us to a lot of the people in the metal scene, and this gave us enough momentum to start playing some of our first live shows. So our first shows we played in Los Angeles. We played at places like the Whiskey A Go Go.
Yeah.
And then in 2024, we got invited to do some festivals here in Europe. So we went and we made turned that into our first European tour, including two very special shows in France, one in Paris and one in Lille. And that show in Lille was unbeknownst, even though we didn't know it at the time. After we found out after the show, it was recorded as a live album. And
Mhm.
so we decided at the end of 2024, we released our live album Live in France. And now this year we are set to release our second full-length studio record, Winds of Time. We've already put out three singles, the song Winds of Time, the song We Rise, and just a couple days ago, the song Burning Sands. And the full record is out October 17th. And also, this summer we embarked on our second European tour. Um,
Yes, very
including
important.
some Yes, including some two very special shows in France, the Heavy Weekend in Nancy back in June, and also the Pyrenean Warriors Open Air a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it's been a really great European tour, kind of following along, building up the release for this new album. And then next, I guess early February, April, March, we will be going over to North America to do a big tour with Sabaton. So
Yes.
I think that's the summary of what we've
Yes,
done.
it's a huge program, you know. Of course. Yes, you speak about the tour. Yeah, you are on tour because I see that tomorrow you will play a new show, and after next 2 days you will play the last two show in Europe, and after I suppose you come back in USA or something like that. So about this tour, how was it? I have the impression finally that, like you say, everything begin a little in France. It's your homeland, France, the second homeland, I will say.
Yeah, it really does feel like it. Every time we go to France, it feels like we achieve some new milestone for the band. So France has been really, really cool for us, and we can't wait to come back to France. But this tour as a whole has been a huge step forward for us. We got to go to some new territories in the world that we'd never gone to before, and
Mhm.
had some amazing sold out shows. Got to meet a lot of our fans. You know, of course, not everyone. There's still plenty of places in the world we gotta go and play, but it's been great. You know, and. We've got to try out some of the songs from this upcoming album on this tour, which they were made to be played live, and they went over really well with our audience, both online and in the venue. So I think it's been a very successful tour. Of course, we do still have two more shows to go, both in Germany. We got a Rock im Marital Festival, which is tomorrow, and then Keep It True Rising, which is on Saturday.
How do you feel for the last two show? What is your is it a special when you will play the last show in Europe? Is it you are in a different state of mind, or is it the same? It is a show and you play the show and everything is finished for this tour, or is it special thing? You will present
Um,
perhaps some new songs. I don't know. Uh,
it's kind of hard to say. I think on one hand, we're very just mellow with how we do it, and it's like, yep, we just another show. We're gonna go out there and do what we do, just like we do at the first and every other show on this tour. Um, but there's I mean I think for me there's a little bit bittersweet,
Yeah.
when you've been playing all these shows for so long and then you play the last one and then you have to go a period of time where you don't get to go and play any shows. I think that's a if anything it's a little bit bittersweet, but both of these shows are going to be very special. Um the Keep It True Rising, we played at the when I talked about our first European tour, that was the one of the festivals that invited us to come over to Europe. So we played the normal Keep It True. Now this year we will play the Keep It True Rising. It's the last edition of that festival, so it's a that event in and of itself is a very special thing. So it'll be cool to be a part of that. And yeah, so on one hand, it's bittersweet, but at the same time, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up after this.
yeah.
So we got plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, you will go on tour in February with Sabaton. I see all the dates, the gigs you have. It's very incredible. It's a huge tour, very long. Perhaps the first one you tour, so you play so long for a tour. How do you prepare? What will you propose finally on this US tour? Was it a different set list? Do you do a lot of rehearsal? How do you work for this tour? I suppose you will work very soon. You have some time, but
Yeah.
uh, how do you work?
There's
How do you
there's
prepare?
a lot of preparation that needs to go into this. Of course, you have to prepare the set list and make sure everyone's grooved in with it. But I think that the biggest challenge is just all the logistical undertakings that come with doing such a nice. There you go. With doing such a big tour. So we're already working on all those aspects and making it flow as good as it can. But I think, overall, we're just really excited to be doing this tour. And no matter how large the mountain of logistics is to undertake for me and Parker, we'll get through it and we will kick ass throughout the tour. That's the main objective. But yeah, I mean, already we're starting to think about set lists and what songs to pick because this is an opening tour, and we want to really put forward the best that we have,
Mhm.
but also impress the fans, the very loyal fan base of Sabaton, and of course Pop Evil as well. But
Yeah.
we feel very confident with the discography that we've built up, and yeah, we feel really confident about the tour as a whole.
Yes, each time you come in Paris, there is some surprise. There is, of course, the promotion day, and after you do an acoustic show in Paris. It was the 20 September. You play some tracks acoustic. You play some cover, of course, Deep Purple, and I know that somebody loves this song in Paris. So how was this? It's a private showcase. How was it? Do you like to play acoustic and how was it to cover some so huge classical song of rock of hard rock, I will say.
Well, yeah, first I'll say, I mean, this was the second we'd had another last year when we played our first show in Paris. We had a day before where we did a lot of interviews, and I think it's always a really I mean, this is really cool too. But when you sit down in person and you get to have interviews like that and talk with people, it's a really special thing to do. And being in Paris, it's a wonderful city, so just that alone is really cool. But then playing acoustically, I mean. A lot of the stuff that Leo and I write actually it originates on an acoustic guitar to begin with. So being able to or having the opportunity to be able to perform in that sort of an environment is a really special thing, and it's always we always love it. It's a lot of fun. It gives us a chance to play songs in a different, give them a different life, but that also like showcases the life of that song differently too.
And we listen to a lot
Um,
of acoustic music as well,
hmm
worth mentioning.
Big, yeah. I mean, we it's a big part of our influence and our style. So getting to share that is really cool. But also too, getting to share that also not just with our own music, but getting to cover some other stuff as well. It's always a cool it's a cool opportunity to kind of pay tribute to some music that we really love.
Yeah. And I'll mention on my end too, the way I started out with my music career was just to play acoustic shows in bars. Like
Mhm.
that's what I did for 2, 3 years straight. So it's always very special, and I think we agree that it's a very intimate setting. It's more stripped down, and you can really get the raw sense of the musicianship. And yeah, that type of intimate setting is really cool to play around with. And I do believe that we will do more things like that in the future.
So some perhaps some special gigs, acoustic gig in the future, of course. So the surprise for me is that you go very fast finally to record this album, to write this album, 1 year, something like that. And when the of time is here, now it will be out very soon. I think it's 17 October.
Hmm.
Very important to get this album. So how do you explain that you write so very so fast? Do you have a lot of songs? I mean, since a long time in your pocket or in your phone, I don't know, but a lot of songs ready, and you are just waiting to record it.
Sort of. I mean, it all it's a mix of our process of how we tend to write songs, but also just the circumstance that we have. And the way that we wrote this record was actually pretty much the same way that basically the same way that we wrote the Gates of Twilight record. So Leo and I individually, perpetually as we exist, if we're near an instrument, we're coming up with stuff. So we always have on the phone or wherever, we have a lot of ideas that are saved and a lot of because you're always coming up with stuff. Um, so when we sat down to write this record, we had about 10 or 11 weeks, something like that. Um, we already had we had the problem wasn't figuring out what to write. It was figuring out which of our ideas we want to work on because we had so
Mhm.
many that were so great. Um, so that's basically how it went. And we have all in a we do it all in a short period of time. And it's uh it's a bit intense because there's not a lot of time to stop, but it's I think it's the perfect amount of time to get the songs done and written and executed the way that they need to get done. And yeah, I think the final result that you will see from this will you will not be disappointed. But I'll also say too, this is just like the writing and recording process. So we basically write
Uh-huh.
and record everything, and then it's a whole second leg of the process is the production. So that's mixing it, making sure everything sounds well, and that also takes that takes. I think in this case it took us longer to produce it than it did to actually write and record it. But
And
yeah.
I want to mention too that while we have a lot of ideas going into it, like riffs, riffs on their own can definitely be timeless. But when we come to write together, when we come to write this album, it's all very
Mhm.
timely. So while we might start from a riff, the vast majority of the songs and the album spring from me and Parker coming up with stuff in the moment together as we're writing it. And that's also how you get the natural flow of the album itself. So
hmm
just wanted to mention.
Yeah, totally.
Do you think finally that you have a lot of experience since that the EP came and after the first album, you play live too, a lot of more show. Do you have this kind of experience live have an impact on this new album?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the main when people have asked us this, what's the difference with this record and the previous ones, and I definitely think it's a product of our experience more rad. It's across the board. So individually as musicians, you'll hear that in our performance. As songwriters, you'll hear that in the way that we write songs and do sections. And the production, you'll hear we're much more detailed and refined and cleared up in like a good way, not in like an over processed way, but we have much more attention to detail. And then also, I mean, the songs that we chose to write in this record. Um, I mean, we always write whatever's inspiring to us. We don't like to have these things, oh, we have to do this or that or that. But
Mhm.
at
It's
the same
natural.
time, we had just finished our first European tour, and that was, I think we finished it in what June or something, and then in August or September we went and wrote this record. So we had just finished that pretty much,
Yeah.
and one of the things that we were thinking when we were writing this record is like, okay, so we had our live set, our big headline set, and we're like, it was really great. We had a lot of fun, but what could we add to that set to like take it to another level and add more dimension to
Mhm.
it musically? And so I think that kind of sentiment and that perspective of performing live, it it influenced some of the ideas that we chose to work on and therefore that became songs on this record.
Yes, so it was very important. I suppose the next one will be very different in the same way, of course, but we took in a few months perhaps. Yes, the big surprise that there are some huge song like Wings of Time. It was the first single. Like you said, there are three singles now out, and Wings of Time is the incredible song, very long, of course. It was natural for you. It was an evidence that for the first single you choose this song with incredible, with a lot of guitar, a lot of singing, very high, like you say, like you can do. It's incredible. You too, the part of guitar was really, I will say it's a little masterpiece. You know, it's very. I feel that there is a lot of work on this song, so that's why also you choose to this song to be the first single. Like you said, 10 minutes is not a classical time for a single, of course.
Well, there's a lot of music within this song. I actually don't think it took a lot longer for us to write this song than any of the other
Hmm.
songs on the album. It all kind of came together super naturally, just based on a couple of ideas that we had, and the process just kind of flowed along, really. By the time we were done with it and we were listening to the demo, I think the thing that was so cool about it is that it didn't feel like we had sat down to listen to almost 11 minutes of music. You know, it didn't feel like a drag. It didn't feel like you were waiting for the end to come. It just kind of felt like a journey that wasn't based on time at all to begin with. And I think that was the cool thing about the song. And around that sensation and that feeling, we and of course because it's a really cool song, we wanted to give it the highlight that it deserves on the album. So when we finished it, we came up with the idea of putting it out as the debut single and perhaps even making it the title track of the album, which as we
Which we
ended
did.
up writing more of the
Yeah.
songs, we kind of just stuck with that. And yeah, don't regret it whatsoever. I think it's gone over really well with our fans, even with the media, given that it's such an unusual thing to release such a long song as your debut track and single and lead with the music video and all of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it was a natural decision to make, and I'm happy we did it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like you say, it was a long song, but there are two long songs in the album. Finally, very important to say that. When I listen to the album, it's an album, you know, and like you said, it's really an album. Like we can you put it and you listen and you roll listen again and again. How do you feel with the new generation? Because you are young, you are very young, and everybody knows that the new generation takes. We have the same problem for everybody. Takes 2 minutes, and after they change and everything like that. How do is it a huge work to adapt to that too?
I'll just start with saying one thing, and with the younger generation, one of the bigger aspects is social media. And while, yeah, you can't put out a 10-minute piece on social media and expect it to do well, when you have very dynamic songs like we do, where you have different types of different sounding parts and even a lot of music videos and video content, you can totally splice this up and put it and, fit it to different formats and push it across social media. And that is something that has worked really, really well for us. So I don't think that the length of the songs and the type of songs have hindered us in any way. If anything, because we have so many explosive sections and because heavy metal itself is so explosive, with, like I said, a lot of music video content to use with it, it's actually been a very strong selling point of this album so
Hmm.
far.
But yeah, but I think on the note of how the younger generation is consuming music, like I do think that I think a lot of people when they listen to music nowadays, because so many people are using streaming platforms, they're listening to individual songs. I mean, the thing where people are only listening to it, that's because they're on social media. But if you're on social media, you're not really listening to music. But like you said, it's a great tool for us to showcase our music for the younger generation. We've noticed we have a lot of young fans. I mean, even coming to the shows and we're seeing some younger guys out there and like so there are people, I mean, look at there are people who are younger who do appreciate listening to full music. They appreciate listening to albums. It's not the mainstream, but I mean, heavy metal isn't mainstream to begin with. So, it's
Yes.
not.
But yes, the new single is very important too. It's Burning Sand. I have the impression it's very important songs for you. Can there is also, like you say, a video. You are on a sort of a beach. It was it was in Poland or something like that. No?
Yeah. Yeah, so that video, we wanted to film it in like a desert-like setting, and we filmed it we filmed it last July. It was kind of in the middle of our touring run, and we didn't really have the means to go to a place that like North Africa or something where there's real big desert. It just didn't make sense to travel there and to
Yeah.
the logistics. So we were looking around for stuff in Europe that would that was kind of close to our touring path that we could go and film the video at. And we wanted to film. There's this one location in Germany near Berlin, but so we contacted the local government to get permission to do it, and they didn't allow us to do it because there was it was like an old military zone that was like a desert there, but there was an unexploded bombs ordnance, so we couldn't film there. But we had chosen Poland, and we found this other desert location there in Poland, and it worked out well. We were able to go and film there, and I mean the weather was a little unfortunate, but it was just good enough for us to film the video. So
I think the
yeah,
weather actually worked out good for the video
it did.
itself, even
It
though it
did
wasn't the
actually.
most comfortable recording conditions to spend a full day out there, especially without a shirt.
No, no, no.
But but I will say too, like that location is super cool because the narrative and the story of the lyrics and how they go, it talks a lot about the threat of nuclear annihilation and the
Mhm.
looming presence of war. And that spot right there, like if you zoom out, if you look at this place on the maps or something and you zoom out, you'll see that it's kind of like a patch of forest, and then there's just a big round circle of desert. And
Mhm.
I feel like that really, really reflects the lyrical
Hmm.
content of the song as well.
Yes, because you write all the lyrics, and lyrics are very important also in the band. You are sometimes you are serious, sometimes less, but it's rock and roll. Yes, there is a song that I love. It's "Flight of the Eagle." Really great song too. How is born this song finally? Is it an easy way writing, or do you work a lot on this song?
This song is actually kind of unique in how it came to be in terms of how
Hmm.
we wrote it. The song actually started out as a full instrumental piece that Parker had done on his own, and and he sent that over to me. And like he'll send a lot of ideas over, and I'll do the same. And I remember this one really stuck with me as one of like the best things. And I initially wanted to keep it as an instrumental because I just thought it was really good on its own. Parker wanted to add vocals on there. So at this time, we were not together in the same country. I was back in Sweden, Parker was in the US. And so this is one of the very few instances when we tried to record something on a distance. So we kind of spliced it up a little bit to fit verses and fit vocal passages. And then I began to write lyrics and I recorded some stuff in my shitty microphone and sent over a demo to Parker. And that's where we got the main idea from. And this was actually quite a while ago. When would you say that we
This
got the
was like the
first?
beginning of 2024
Yeah,
actually. So this song slow cooked for a
yeah.
while.
And so then it kind of sat there for a while as a good song for sure, but it didn't feel quite finished. And then
Mhm.
by the time we were almost wrapped up with this album, we
Really.
needed one more song, and
Hmm.
we decided to bring this one back to life. So we added a little extra, like some more tweaks to it, especially
Hmm.
around the ending.
Did some fine, yeah, final little refinements and
Yeah,
adjustments.
and we did this when we were together, the
Hmm.
last kind of
Hmm.
refinements, and it came out really good. It truly is one of our favorite songs on the album.
Hmm.
When I listen, like I said, there are a lot of great lead guitar and lot of great singing. How do you do, Leo? Do you work a lot on your voice? I mean, when you're on tour to sing so high on some parts, is it a huge work? Do you take care, or is it you arrive and just warm up and sing?
I used to be way more casual with my voice than I am as of late. I feel like now that we're starting to do like long headline sets, like our headline sets, at least for the time being, has been between 90 and like 100 minutes. And when you do back-to-back shows like that in, smoky environments and dry environments, you're a human, and your voice kind of fundamentally works the same for everyone. So it does get dry, it can start to swell a little bit, and I do have to kind of maintain it. So I have a couple of routines that I stick to, mainly in between the shows to make sure that everything is hydrated and feels good. And then usually I'm fine. The singing technique itself is pretty dialed in.
Just we speak about who gets the idea to for the name of the album, Wind of Time, Wind of Steel, Wind of Time. It was very easy to choose the title. The cover is beautiful, really. I
Thank you.
love it.
Yeah, I think I think it was just because when we wrote that the song Wins the Time, um we were just like, yeah, this is a great song. Let's put it out as a single. Let's call the album, because the thing is, this was the first song that we wrote on this record, and I think it really, like, what we did in that song really like set the tempo for the rest of the record. So in the same way that, like, when we did the Gates of Twilight record, the song Gates of Twilight was actually the first song that we wrote on the
Mhm.
Gates of Twilight record, and that writing that song kind of set the tempo for what we did
Sure.
there. Um, so we kind of just did that here as well, and
And
yeah.
also, I think Winds of Time, like as a message, as a like a phrase on its own, it kind of reflects the content of the album really well, where it kind of
Mm.
reflects on historical events and how it's kind of echoing now in present times and how the Winds of Time kind of carries that.
What was the challenge for you on this album? For each album, I suppose there is a challenge. What was the challenge in the recording, in the writing? Is there a challenge when you record an album?
Um, I think some songs are some parts in the songs take longer to figure out than others. And I'll give you like an instance, like when I write the solos, sometimes the first thing that I sit down, I record that the first thing I have is that's what's on the album. It's not all the time, but sometimes I get lucky. It's okay, that's there. Sometimes I'll do a couple takes and then it's, oh, okay, I figured it out, now I know what to do. Sometimes it takes more or less. And the same thing is true with the song as a whole.
Uh,
Sometimes we come, okay, we got this riff here, we're gonna do this for the verse, and we're gonna do this for the chorus, but maybe we could transition into the chorus a different way. So sometimes the details are there right off the bat. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work and stepping back to refine the details. But I think by and large, our songwriting process is, um, if we encounter like a serious roadblock in a song, we basically just take that as a sign as that song is not ready to be written yet.
mhm.
So keep the idea, we keep the good part, we save it, we say, okay, when the time is right, we'll come back and
Yeah,
do this song. But and
it's
then
exactly what happened with Flight of the Eagle.
yeah, and then we go and then that song will finish it when the time is right for it to be
Yeah.
finished. But I think I'll say with this record as a whole, I think the most challenging thing was actually the production. Um, because of our experience in doing this, we have a much greater attention to detail with all these things in the mix than we did on the first the previous releases. So we really wanted to get something where all the little details that we wanted people to hear would
Mhm.
be heard very
Yeah.
clearly. We wanted to minimize any excess noise and distortion or whatever, and make sure if there's a reverb or a delay, or if there's a sound that we put in there, that it works properly with the recording. It does the song justice, and there's a tremendous amount of details that goes
Yeah.
into each song, let alone the whole record.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree that
so
I think the production was probably the biggest challenge, but I think it was worth all the time that it took and all the hassle of getting through it. It came out really well, and big props to Damien Reynaud, our mix mastering engineer,
from
for
France.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sticking with it and offering his unique take on things.
Mhm.
But I will also add that it would be nice, like we mentioned earlier, the nature of how we wrote Gates of Twilight and Winds of Time is me and Parker pretty much writing and recording everything within the span of 10 to 11 weeks, which is definitely a short amount of time to get everything out. It's worked out, and I think it's worked out in our favor. But it is kind of stressful when you know you have that short amount of time to get everything done. So adding a couple of weeks to that process would actually have made a pretty big difference, I think.
What will be the next single?
The next single will be the record as the whole.
Oh God, okay. So you get everything.
Mhm.
So three single, it's good. It's good.
Mhm.
Just about yes, some one or two question to finish. You get a new record company now. Before you were in auto production, you are you I will say you auto produce a lot of things, but you have a label, a Dutch label. Does it change something for you? I mean, is it important?
So yeah, we have it's more of a partnership. This is with the German label High Roller Records. So this record, and still at large, we are our own label and we self-produce everything. But there's things that we do individually that it's not realistic for us to build up on our own means. And so one of those things is having an established business with a distribution network in Europe. So we enter into this partnership with the High Roller Records to just do the CDs and vinyls for this new album, Winds of Time, but then we also do the Gates of Twilight and the EP as well. Um, and so this is
Oh,
a
okay.
it's a good
Mhm.
arrangement for us because it's we still own everything and we're still our own thing, but we work together with them to have our CDs and vinyls available for our fans in Europe because on our own, I mean, we work with some other smaller companies before, but it's 50 copies or 100 copies, and they're gone, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult for people to find them, and then if they
Yeah,
want to buy it from us in the U.S., it's ridiculous how expensive. So having um having this partnership is really a good thing for us. I mean, it's a win for it's a win for them, it's a win for us, and it's a win for our fans who can find our music finally at a more affordable price. So yeah.
yeah. The first edition will be collector very soon. So buy it. I just show that because it's France, live in Paris, live in France, not in Paris, but in France. It was a good experience finally to record a live album. You like a MSG, one studio album and after live album. I remember that. So it was important to put out this live album. It was something that you want to present to the people,
Yeah,
to your fan.
like Parker mentioned earlier, at the time of recording, we didn't know it was being recorded, so we had not planned to record a live album ahead of time. But I think timing wise, it worked out perfectly. It was the one year where we would not have a release. We didn't have a release scheduled, so it really worked out in the timing sense like that. But also because we'd only been able to do a couple of shows, three in the US and then that tour in Europe, we have fans all around the world. And we're very proud of how our live set is and how we work as a live band. I think that's always been the ultimate goal, to be a good ass kicking live band. So to be able to share that with people all around the world so they can get a sense of how it sounds live was very important to us. And I think the mixing and mastering on this live album is also something that's totally worth mentioning because it really captures the feeling of going to one of our live shows and standing there in the middle of the audience and just getting hit with full force with a sonic experience.
So, did you want something, say something more who is very important for you that we don't speak, or you want to speak about something huge important, very important?
Um, I mean, I think we covered most of the important topics here. The biggest thing is that the new record, Winds of Time, is out on October 17th.
17.
It will be available on basically any major platform you can think of, and you can find CDs and vinyls of the record through High Roller Records or hopefully a record store or distributor near you. Um,
And also, thank you for sharing all the music videos. Thank you for spreading the word about Wings of Steel, and thank you, Pascal, as well for that.
Thank you.
It's through this communication that we've been able to really build this massive momentum as a young and new band, and so we owe our fans in France and around the world the biggest thank you.
Yep, we love our fans in France. We had an excellent time playing for you guys at Heavy Weekend and the Perennium Warriors Open Air Festival this year. And we hope to see you guys again very soon. So, yeah.
So I hope, yes, you will come very soon. Sure that you will come very soon in France, your second land, I will say. Thank you very much for the interview because it was really great and nice to talk to you about this incredible album. I will say Wings of Time is really, really a great album, like we love, really. If you like heavy metal, great heavy metal with great voice, great guitar, and you have a new band, of course, with you now. It's a band or you are together, just together, or you are a band?
Yeah, when we go to perform, of course, we need a full live lineup. So we've been working with the same musicians now since last tour. Our rhythm guitar player Stefan has been with us since the start, and then we work with Matthew Troback and Marcel Binder, and it's been a great live lineup, great bunch of guys. And yeah, if you have the opportunity, make sure to come and check us out live.
Thank you very much for the interview, and don't forget Wings of Time. Thank you. Have a nice time. Bye bye.
Thank you, thank you.
Take care, man.
Take care.